Life was with no rehearsal. I believe in the miracle of life. Life's a play with no rehearsal. Sing this shit with me. You take it personal, cause the devil is a lie. Eh. I'm telling you the truth. Eh. It's all in what you do. Eh. So gotta do. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free, hit the subscribe button, man. I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. We got a special interview, man. We got Dylan, the real deal Price, man. 10-0, I believe. Let's go off memory. 7 knockouts, man. Appreciate it. I've been following him for a long time. We finally gonna get him on the show, him and his father, and we're gonna see what's going on with them. They got some new additions to the camp out of the East Coast, and he's gonna make some weight. He's gonna make some moves down there, super flyweight. So we're gonna have him come in. But I just want to remind you guys, we go live every night, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on this channel. We go live, we talk shit and swallow spit, man. Come on in, man. We've been going to rarefied air, man. We've had great conversations, great dialogue, and it's been very edifying, especially what's going on in America today. And yeah, man. So it's so come on in tonight, 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and don't forget and don't forget to join the Patreon. Feel free to join the Patreon, and where we talk about stocks, properties, and quick flips and stuff like that. So if you need cash, like right now, you know, feel free to join the Patreon, and we converse whatever topics you have as it relates to business. Feel free, and it's free. You just put it up front and you write it off on your taxes and you get it back. So I'll show you guys all that on the Patreon. So anyways, Jimmy, appreciate you guys coming in. We're just waiting for Dylan Price and his dad, Mr. Price, to beam in, and we're gonna go live. Another father and son combination, man. It's it's like it's almost like a right, you know, where you have father sons coming in together, you know what I mean, and making waves in the sport of boxing, you know, and the list goes on and on, man. It's no need even bringing them up because y'all can list more than I have. But a good question is, instead of your best father son combination, because you can go on for days, who was your favorite? You know what I mean, in terms of personality, obviously in terms of boxing skills, et cetera, et cetera. Which one is your favorite? And I'm very interested in that. So put in the comment section, who's your favorite father-son tandem that you've ever witnessed in the sport of the boxing? I'm pretty sure that'll take you back down memory lane. Mm-hmm. And so yeah, man, we've been on quarantine, so like all boxing, and it's sorely missed. You know what I mean? It's definitely sorely missed. And we got Dylan Price, who just beamed in, man. Let me beam him in. We got Dad. We got Mr. Price. What's up? How you feeling?
Yeah, we rolling with him.
How y'all? Oh, y'all gonna be on one stream. You're not gonna be on separate stream. Okay, cool. How y'all doing, man?
Good.
Oh man, that's a beautiful backyard y'all got there on the East Coast.
Thank you.
Y'all
You can see both of us?
Yeah, I can see both. If y'all want to come close, y'all more than welcome, just because of the sound.
All right. If it's too much, we go in the house.
No, we good. So what's up, Pastor Dave?
Great, man. Good to see you again.
I appreciate you, man. So how's quarantine been treating y'all?
Man, it's a little rough, but we're doing what we have to do. The good thing is we have our own gym, so we still in every day, sometimes 2 days.
Oh, wow. And your gym is in Jersey?
Yes.
Jersey, okay. And you added Dylan, y'all added someone to your team, if I'm not mistaken. Last we spoke in Philly in January.
Yep. Brandman Edwards. He's doing a great job.
Big help.
Yeah, he's a big help. I love working with Brad, man. Mr. Brad.
Mm-hmm. How's that been? How's the conversations? You know,
it's been good. It's been real good. Yeah, he's been adding a lot of things inside and outside of the ring. You know, as far as like cutting weight, things like that. So
it's tough because I love coaching against him. Now I got him in my corner. I like him on the other side. He get intense. Good shot, Coop. Now he's my team, so I can't do it. But yeah, Fred had a lot to the team. You know, he's very knowledgeable. I take a smart person rather than a dumb trainer anytime. You know, he's not a guy that got 40 years in the coaching business, but he's highly intelligent. So the 10 years that he put in is like other people 30 years. So I really enjoy it. He works well with Dill. So far, so good.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because many times when I interview him, it turns into like 30 or 40 minutes of a learning experience for me when I'm talking to Brad, man. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, like for the JROC fight, he took me on a tour of the city, and I was just overwhelmed, you know, especially with his wealth of knowledge, you know, in terms of the real estate market and actually the historical perspective of Philadelphia.
Right.
You know, so what's new? So what's going on, man?
Well,
people call y'all the
last time we talked, we were in Philly.
Yeah,
we were with Mayweather.
Yeah,
you know, some things changed right at that fight. There, some things were changing. So we're no longer with Mayweather. So that's one major thing.
Oh wow, okay. And who y'all signed to, or y'all free agents?
Yeah, we're gonna be free agents for right now.
Okay.
Just wanna build him up. Really just move him the way I want to move him and get the worth what we really believe he's worth. I don't have a problem with doing it. My partner, myself, Dr. Wiki, we've been doing this for a while. When I started, Doc really wanted to promote him. I wanted to be more hands off. I didn't even want to manage him. That's why I brought in Dewan Blake. I wanted to just concentrate on being dad and trainer. And nobody can manage my son like me. Nobody could promote my son like me. And I'm sure there's others that are going to jump on board. But right now, we just felt this was the best move for us.
Why the split? Was it just because that's the obvious question. Was it just the end of a contract, or was it just like a difference of opinion?
I'll speak on it, and then Dill can speak on it. Well, you were at the fight, the JROC fight. We were supposed to be featured on that fight, and we put in 8 hard weeks. Breadman was working with us with that camp, and I mean, we were super, super ready. And then a week before the fight, the opponent apparently pulled out. But that was the 5th time that happened within a short amount of time, and I just didn't feel like I could trust the company because I told him I can't keep bringing my kid to the stable and not letting him go. The next time when y'all say we on go, how can I ask him to give me 100% when he has in the back of his mind that they're gonna pull out again, they're gonna cancel the fight again, and that's a pattern with that company. It's not just us. We've seen it several times with other fighters before, and I do know that that's a part of the sport. Things like that happen, but I just didn't feel comfortable moving forward with that. And then the 3 years, our contract was up the next month, and we just chose to part ways. No hard feelings. I think Leonard Ellaby is a great guy. Love everything. The issue was just with the matchmaking portion of the company. I just wasn't very happy with. And no disrespect to the matchmaker, he did the best he could.
Go ahead, Dylan. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I just felt like they weren't promoting
Come
me the
closer
way.
To dad. Yeah, come close to your dad, so you're in the screen. Yeah.
Can you see me now?
A little bit. You got to lean in. You got to lean towards them a little bit more. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Much better.
I feel like I wasn't being promoted the way I should have been promoted, and like what my dad said with the fights, they would pull. The fights would fall out, and they would just like they wouldn't. Yeah, like we'll get you back in there soon. They weren't worrying about the hard training camps I had or any of that. They just was just saying like, all right, we'll get you in there next time. Like it's just a regular thing for them. So, yeah, I think.
And I don't want to burn any bridges because they did a lot of good things for us as well. They put us on some high-profile fights. The checks were definitely once we negotiated, and I negotiated Dylan's contract, so it wasn't the typical Mayweather contract. But the money was good. They treated us good. They just didn't spotlight us the way that I thought we could. But I could deal with that because that could have come as we developed even further. But it was just the pulling out of fights and the lack of just a lack of ownership and concern when that happens. It was one time when we were in Baltimore for the Gervonta Davis fight, and another stablemate that was on the card. He was
that was the July 27 fight.
Correct.
July 27.
Yes. And we were going on stage for the official weigh-in, and he was going on stage, and I knew that his guy didn't come because his guy was from Philly, and they hadn't told him. And I said, why you on stage? Your fight is not happening. He was like, huh? I said, oh, maybe it is. That's not my place. But things like that, where that didn't necessarily happen to us, but we saw that happen, and unfortunately, things like that happen where it could go all the way up to the last second, and you didn't even notify him. But that's somebody else's. I really don't have anything to do with that. But I was talking about with Dill, it just was no longer a perfect fit. Maybe in time, maybe things will work out, or you never know. You keep all options open, but at this time, it just wasn't a good fit.
Who was the manager at Mayweather Promotions?
Juan Blake.
So you guys just basically dealt with Juan Blake as opposed to Leonard Ellaby and Floyd Mayweather.
No, initially, like I said, I wanted to stay out of it because I manage fighters, but I didn't want to do my son. But the Juan, great guy, but he wasn't getting what I needed done. So I started taking the reins really after last year, after January, when we had that fight with the kid was on PEDs. That's when I said, that's it. I tried to let you guys do it, but we started dealing. I started dealing directly with Leonard myself, and it was never any. It was very easy to deal with Leonard. He was very accommodating to what I asked for. It was just the matchmaking portion. Once John Beninani, that was their regular matchmaker. Once they parted ways, things just kind of deteriorated as far as we're concerned.
You was one of the first people to hit me up after that fight too, Fred.
Say it again.
I said you was one of the first people to hit me up after that fight.
Oh
too.
yeah. Oh man, that's what we do, man. We build each other up. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
I didn't even care if I knew you or not. If you're Michael Williams 1-0, I would have did the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's that important. So take back because that was there scene as it relates to the guy coming in on PED or anything like that, or they don't drug test like the pre-fight card. How does that work? Because I know I had to be some frustration on y'all part.
When we was in Vegas, they make us take the drug test before the fight, and I guess they just randomly picked my fight.
Oh, okay.
So I just thank my Heavenly Father for that, but Yahoo, because they could have picked any, and it's not like the Pacquiao fights or the big fights like that. Both of them, nah, they randomly picked my fight and found out he tested positive.
Well, in December we were scheduled to fight on Mayweather's card. We got to Vegas, and they said it was actually 3 opponents that didn't get through customs. So I flew all my family down, friends. We didn't fight in December. Then in January, we were scheduled to be on that card. And we were excited about that. And it was all the way up until Friday. We're supposed to leave Monday. We still didn't have an opponent. So we were fearing that the same thing was going to happen. They brought us this kid on Saturday and said, will you take it? And that was an error on my part because I was pressed to fight. Kid had 40 fights, beat a couple of undefeated guys, was really a super bantamweight. Light 122, but he came down. He came in overweight. He didn't even make the bantamweight limit, and we were supposed to fight at super flyweight. All of those things, I take the hit for as the manager and the trainer. I should have just said, even though everybody's here, maybe we pass on this one. But we still took it. Dylan fought hard. He got caught with a shot. Battled I thought we pulled it out or either got a draw, but they gave us a loss. But then come to find out that not only was he heavy, not only was he more experienced, he was also on PEDs. So, like he said, thank our Heavenly Father, that was found out.
What weight did he come in at?
He came in at 119.
119. Okay.
Yeah, we fight at 115.
The contract weight 115, right?
Right.
Contract weight was. Oh, so
Yeah,
so he definitely had a competitive advantage.
It might have been 117 to try to give him because we knew he wasn't going to make 115.
Mm-hmm.
But
so
I'm glad we went through that. I'm kind of glad we went through that so that I could get way more focused. You know what I'm saying? Lock down more, make the adjustments that I need to make, and so I feel like even though I'm glad it's not a loss, but with that fight we learned so much.
We did. We did.
So I'm kind of glad that happened now. Looking back at it.
What's the implementation moving forward?
Well, one of the things, and that's what they ran back to us when the opponent pulled out in January, is when we were dealing with them was I'm not taking a fight if I don't have the opponent within 3 weeks of the fight. At the absolute latest 2 weeks. I can't prepare for somebody. I can't have a whole training session preparing for one style, and then you throw me something else. So that was one of the things that we implemented. Also, just being patient. If it's not the right fight, we don't feel comfortable with it, we'll do it again. There's always, like I told him when a couple other fights fell out, he said, man, that was a big card. There's always going to be a big card. There's always going to be another big fight. So we want to be in the right position.
And my dad told him that, Fred, my dad told him the 2 weeks before thing, we not taking no fights 2 weeks before. So on the JROC card, when we supposed to fight on that card, they told us 2 weeks before that the guy pulled out, so they wouldn't even have to try to look for nothing. That's what made it seem like it's BS.
It seemed contrived, and everybody that I asked, they all had the same answer. And
I was about to ask you that. Does it seem like premeditated that this consistently happens?
Well, with this particular fight, and it may have been because we had negotiated our contract. If they're going to spend, let's say, $20,000 on the fight, and we haven't re-signed. So I think maybe that has something to do. Maybe he pulled out. I don't know. But everybody I asked kept giving me the exact same answer. And when you interrogate somebody, if you're a police officer, and if everybody's saying the exact same thing, then you know it's not true. Everybody has their own words, their own perspective. And everybody was saying word for word the exact same thing, which made me say, nah, something's not right.
Yeah, the business of boxing always asks the last fight of the contract. You know what I mean? Like, they don't want to lose you. And lastly, they don't want to invest in you in your last fight. They don't have the end of that previous contract. That's that's promoter 101. You know what I mean?
But Fred, we are loyal people. And I mean, from day one, we had issues, but we never opened our mouth. How's everything with Mayweather? Great. We love Mayweather.
When my man Josue was talking smack, Africa, that's my homie. You know what I'm saying? But all of the guys was talking smack. We kept our mouth shut.
We played the company, man. We did what we were supposed to. So in a fight like that, we were planning, even with the nonsense. I would have just negotiated several things in the contract, and we would have kept going. They believed in us originally, and we wanted to stay with them from beginning to end. But when they did that last thing, you didn't make me feel worthy. You didn't. It just seemed like you were nervous and you took an easy way out.
And we didn't get a call. We didn't hear from him.
We didn't hear from Leonard on that one. No, we didn't even hear from the matchmaker. We heard that from Dewan. And usually my conversations are with Leonard or the matchmaker.
Moving forward, what improvements would you say that Leonard and Dewan and TMT need to make moving forward?
They got a great system. All the females there on point.
Yeah, he do have some cool women over there.
Yeah, their women are tight. And Leonard is a great mind, great businessman, I believe. But as I told him in our final conversation, you could delegate authority, but you can't delegate responsibility. So if you have somebody under you that's not up to par, it's still ultimately going to come back to Leonard and Mayweather Promotions. I can't blame the matchmaker. So in one word, I will say matchmaking, because they promoted somebody from within who's a great guy. Nothing personal about him, and he's great as a COO, Chief Operating Officer. But as a matchmaker, that's a different field. That's a different line, and he's still learning. And he may develop into a great matchmaker. I just didn't feel comfortable trusting our career with somebody that's developing at that level.
Mm-hmm. Was Floyd hands-on, or was he just
no, not
at all? Okay.
And for some, that was an issue. And initially, that was an issue for Dylan. But I quickly reminded him, we here to fight. We're not here to clout chase Floyd and things like that. When he comes, Dwayne will say, Floyd said this. And when we see him, he'll give a little nod, give a little bit. But it wasn't hands-on at all. And that's okay. If you keep shining, he going to come to you. So that's how I approached it.
It's no such thing as clout chasing when he's your promoter. You know what I'm saying? I just no such thing. His job is to get you famous by hook, crook, or steal. You know. So I'll just leave that. Moving forward, 10-0, 7 knockouts. Mm-hmm. Did you have anything planned prior to the COVID-19 epidemic?
Yeah, we were talking with a couple promoters that were looking at doing some signing. Some local guys, but have access to television. But I just decided we're gonna wait this one out, and we'll just get our fight. So we were looking to fight local in May. Well, it was supposed to be April, and then again in May, but with some local promoters. But that, of course, is on hold because of COVID-19. But as soon as this is over, fights pick back up, we'll go right back to our plan.
And Dylan, do y'all intend to stay under the PBC? Is that the plan? Being that you're trained by Breadman, or you just open just to get 17-0 and fight for a title, 18-0 and fight for a title? Is that the goal?
Yep, we keeping our options open, and I'm following my dad's lead, and wherever he decides to go, we make it happen. My job is to fight, and wherever he leads me, I'm gonna follow him. I know it's gonna be a great plan.
I got 3 girls, so when guys come around my girls, I want to know if you're trying to get a hand or if you're trying to get a hiney. So your actions, not your words, are gonna show me if you really want her or if you're just trying to use her. The same premise with the promoters. If you really want me, you're gonna show. If you really want this kid, you're gonna show, not just say it. So it's gonna be some show and tell right now, and right now I'll do the building. Then we'll go back maybe after 4 or 5 fights to see. And we would love to still be in the PBC circle. When you leave Floyd, they're a little bit hesitant to touch you in the PBC circle because he's so tightly associated with that. And we made a couple phone calls, and it was, all right, well, you got to ask for my hand. You got to show me that ring to show me you really want me. So that being said, we'll just keep doing it ourselves and not worry about that right now.
How about Bob Arum or Eddie Hearn or anyone as such?
I like those guys. Smaller weights. You get smaller purses, smaller looks. Really, Top Rank don't sign anybody under 118. And they Brad Goodman frowns if you 118, he won't even touch you. They like the bigger guys. So being smaller even has his setbacks, but we keep showing the talent. We put him in with the right people that's gonna make him shine. I do my job as a trainer. He does his job as the fighter. I don't care if he's 106 pounds. If you keep putting them out and performing, they're gonna come to you. If they don't come to you, then the network should come to us. My partner and myself have connections, so it's not so much the promoter right now. It's just about promoting him.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in that. Like, you build it there. You know what I mean? I'm probably probably one of the more independent mindsets. Probably in boxing. Yeah, and I just create it. You know what I mean? And then you create partnerships. That's kind of where I'm at with it. But your weight. Who's the champion? Chocolatito was down there?
Chocolatito. And
Filipino kid is a champion, right? And Estrada, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Yep. Who wins, Chocolatito or Estrada?
Chocolatito.
He beat him already, right?
Yep, I think so.
I was at that fight for him. Yeah, I was at that fight. Yeah. You think Chocolatito's career was over? Yeah, it was a good fight. It was a good fight.
Over, yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I thought it was over, but he made a good comeback. You know, he looked good his last fight. But
yeah, he did look good. He absolutely did look good.
Yeah, after his last knockout,
very good.
I thought it was over, but he came back, like I said, and looked good. But to answer your question, yeah, I thought it was over.
2 years with Breadman by my side. Feel real comfortable with him. 2 years. This year here was supposed to be building him and moving into contender status. Looking for some guys that maybe fought for titles, former world champions. By the end of this year, we were looking at that. We already at 8s. We wanted to move into 10s really after this fight that was supposed to happen in January. So in 2 years, prayerfully, we're going to have an opportunity to fight for that title. Put that strap on, and that first one that go right to our creator. We can't even hold that. They go right into the temple, and then the second and third one we get to keep. That's our arrangement with God. But you know, I think 2 years we'll be saying those things about Dill.
I'm glad at least you won 3. You know what I mean? That's a good thing.
Oh shoot, we got 4 now. The IBO, right? Or the WBO.
On the IBO?
That's 5. That's 5.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, 5. Yeah, 5. Yeah, because the IBO and the WBO. Yeah. So, how high in weight do you getting?
Say it again.
How high in weight? You at 115 now. How physically do you think you can get?
I walk around like 127, 126.
How high you think you?
I think the biggest
in your career. You can get there.
The biggest weight that I'll fill in is probably 126.
By the end.
126.
Yeah, by the end. But in the middle, probably 118 and 122. I'll probably stay there for a little bit. Then, like my dad said, by the end, probably I finish out 126.
You I watched your probably last 4 or 5 fights, and I've rewatched them, and you're a very skilled boxer. Very skilled, fast twitch, high fiber, and you might get hit with a comment. Just want to stand and fight.
Say it again.
Well, I said he God has blessed your son with a lot of fast twitch muscle fiber, ability, ring IQ. He's able to see stuff before it actually happens.
Right.
And then he gets hit with a combination of something, which happens to everyone in boxing.
Right.
And then he wants to he gets this machismo about himself.
Right.
You know, where he just want to bang. And I think you can win fights 8-2, 7-3, 9-1. You know, if you're fighting a 2-round fight. And do you think that should be more of a slick boxer, or you think you got to bang to win the fans over?
Well, in the beginning of my career, Fred, that's what I was focused on a lot, the fans, and making sure I'm trying to please them. But now, I'm just trying to win. You know what I'm saying? And my style alone is going to be fan friendly, but I don't even want to focus on the fans. I'm going to use I'm a boxer puncher. I'm not a puncher. In the past, I've been fighting like I'm a pure puncher, you know? So, I believe my last fight, I showed that my true skill and my ability as a boxer, and you've seen what happened in that fight. So I just want to continue to do that and just keep building on that. Keep getting my defense tighter and tighter, because it's getting much better. Work on my speed and my slickness.
And it was somewhat deceptive, and because I could say I might even have given him mixed signals at times, because we started out his career 5-0, 5 knockouts. So you start assuming that when I get in there, okay, when am I going to knock him out? So we had to come to the realization that you're not going to knock everybody out. And let's just tighten the defense up. So it was a learning experience for me coming into the pro game from the amateur side, even though I was around the pro game, to being a head trainer as much as it was for him. And that's one of the things that the Breadman stresses with Dylan. Say, Dill, I love your offense, man, but you fall in love with your offense, man.
Yeah, he do fall in love with that offense, man.
You know what I'm saying? So he keeps us grounded with that. You know? So that's a good thing.
And these, like my dad said, those 11 fights were all growing pains. You know what I'm saying? But I finally feel like I got it now, Fred. I really do. And that's why I was so disappointed that I didn't get a chance to display that on January because I really believe I'm super confident now.
Got a great camp.
Yeah, I feel like I have it now. The stamina, how to pace myself. My defense is much better where I want it to be, and I just feel like I got it now. Like I said, all of those other fights were growing pains. I had to work on this, work on that. I feel like I'm much more mature now.
Looking back, can you feel the difference between a fighter on steroids and not on steroids, or performance enhancing drugs? Like in comparison to your 10 other opponents, when you look back on it.
Yeah, he definitely had the most power, of course, but I wouldn't say after the fight I walked. My little brother said he did, but I wouldn't walk. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't have walked away and said that boy was using steroids. He could punch, and all my punches was bouncing off of him, but that's because I assumed he just ballooned up the next day. I didn't think. I didn't even think that.
Shit, he didn't even flinch. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you hit him with some shit. He ain't even flinch.
Right. And I didn't even think like that, Fred. I forgot all about it. Like people in the pros take, because in the amateurs, I mean they took steroids, but I just didn't have that mindset. I never thought of doing it, and I didn't think any of the other guys, especially at this level, would be taking them. But I mean, it's just the steroids is not good. Right. We gotta clean up the sport with that.
Moving forward, who's like a champion that you would like to fight? Like who's the bridge to the belt? You
go right to the top, baby.
He definitely has the biggest name, you know what I mean? He definitely has the biggest name. And he's flat-footed too. He's heavy-handed and he's flat-footed.
Yes. And Roman Gonzalez is a great fighter, but I can't wait till this is over, Fred, so that I can get back fighting. I'm ready to go to 10 rounders. I'm ready to step up the competition. And I'm ready to just show the world how good I really am. Because like I said, they didn't see nothing yet. Even my last fight, I go back and watch that and said that was probably about a B.
No, he's not lying.
Yeah, like I went down to Olympic Training Center, Fred. Maybe what was it, March? And that's the best of the best down there. And I just distanced myself.
And that was the top amateurs that were preparing for the Olympic to make the Olympic team, and they had brought in a lot of professionals. And what he's saying is he just shined above everybody down there, where everybody was taking notice between him and then his partner Keyshawn
Davis. Yeah. He's not gonna get his gold medal, man. Don't that suck? He's not gonna get his gold medal, man. That kind of sucks, man.
I think he's gonna stay.
He gonna stay another 4 years.
Yeah,
no, another year.
Oh, okay. They're gonna do the Olympics in 2021.
Right.
And my man, Jackson.
Yep.
I'll go buy a gold medal.
my boy Jackson is down there. He coming up too. He doing a great job.
Carl Dargan, Dynamite. All the Philly guys, they had him deep down there.
Oh, that's what's up. Speaking of Philly guys, how's the conversation with you and JROC?
Yeah, I talked to JROC a lot.
Beautiful.
Actually, especially after his last fight. I just been checking up on him and letting them know that I'm there for him, because I've been there before. Not a knockout, but a loss is still a loss, you know. So it's super lonely. Everybody with you when you winning and you looking good, you on top. But when you lose, you know what I'm saying, it just feel like you hit rock bottom. And I know if you don't have that support system like I have, it can be even harder. So I was definitely just checking up on him, making sure he was good.
And all them guys, it's a little gym out of 57 for Haverford in Philadelphia. Mitch Allen Boxing. There's so many guys that come through Philadelphia that are world champions now that came through there. He was down and we were down. That's why I used to train. He was my coach. My son was from there. Julian was from there. Stephen Fulton, Scooter, he was from there. So it's so many of us from the Philadelphia area. We sprung out in the other gyms, but we all had our base coming at our little gym, Mitch Allen Boxing.
Yeah, I like JROC, man. He's one of the more believable men in boxing. Right. You know, if I ask him a question, I expect his answer to be 100. I don't like maybe he's thinking this. I just say, yeah, it's the truth. You know, yeah, you know,
humble guy too,
the most humble champion. Yeah, even in his defeat, you see how he was. He didn't make excuses. He, just wanted to say this guy was the better man. That you were there. That was such a somber event.
It was because that was supposed to be a parade. You know, yeah,
what I love about the city is we showed so everybody. It wasn't hate after. It wasn't no laughing. People wanted to take pictures with me. Come on, man. Nobody, everybody was like a funeral.
It was.
I was proud of him, even in his defeat, and I was proud of my city. That's where I'm originally from, of course, Philly. I was proud of Philly, how they represented Julian.
Yeah, I think that cut bothered him. I think that cut made a big difference because I rewatched the fight and I could see him checking the cut in the TV.
Right.
Because he couldn't see it, so he was looking to see how big the cut was. Right. And I thought, the rounds he won was real dominant boxing rounds.
Absolutely.
Real. It was like he was just outclassing him, and then he got caught with a rocket right hand or a left hook or something like that, and it just basically changed the dimensions of the fight. But that 154-pound division. Go ahead.
I think a lot of people slept on the guy he fight. Yeah. I know I did. Yeah, I know I did. I thought gonna blow through him, but that just go to show. That just go to show. You can't sleep on nobody. So
nah, you can't. No, you can't.
Fred, man, he gonna put together a plan. Him and Julian, and he got his eye. He got the surgery on his eye, so that's not gonna be an issue anymore. They're gonna be right back
for sure. And Mr. Brand definitely gonna put a game plan together. Julian,
what in boxing would you like to see better? Out of curiosity.
The PEDs, 100%. The drug testing. This is so bad, Fred. You could test positive for steroids and be fighting within a year or two. And like my dad said, the top big guys gonna be fighting almost once a year anyway. The 12-round fight is the champion. So, it's sweet. That's why everybody taking it. If the consequences is not severe, of course they're gonna take advantage of it. If the consequences was if they lock down on the consequences, then you're gonna see less people taking it.
And that's at the level when 100% they're going to test you. So can you imagine what the preliminaries, what it's looking like if they pulled that urine sample? It's they don't usually get tested. That's why we just praise Yahuwah that our guy got randomly tested because that doesn't usually happen. And he's already beaten 4 undefeated kids. I feel sorry for them because he probably cheated with them.
Sure.
But just went undetected. So for us, what we would like to see change, managers going to be managers. Promoters, you better read your contract. They're going to be promoters. Networks are going to do what they do. But the boxing commissions, they really are allowing this. By you giving a 6-month suspension to a fighter that fights twice a year anyway, man, I'm taking that chance. I'm going to take that chance on steroids.
Yeah, it's similar to the way they did Canelo when he got caught 2 years ago.
Right.
In February, and he's fighting not Cinco de Mayo, but Mexican Independence Day. I'm like, he was gonna fight anyway on Mexican Independence Day.
Right. And then they blamed it on the beef, right?
Yeah, and then they give him a $350 million contract.
Right.
Where's the punishment?
Right. And Fred, the kid that we fought, he was suspended by the ABC and fought 4 times. I went on his box record. He fought 4 times in Mexico. I was livid. I wrote all kinds of letters to the commission. How could you suspend somebody and he's fighting out of your jurisdiction? That suspension should carry no matter where you are. And if you still fighting, you still on suspension. So the commissions, the ABC, they do a great job, but they need to do better with the PEDs.
Yeah, it's like it's 50 different bosses in boxing. Like each state has their own commission. each
But
state gets
they still got the ABC where they unify the rules.
Mm-hmm.
So they still have, it's 50 states here, but you still have one governing body.
Mm-hmm.
And the ABC is that governing body. So if they make a decree, that's for all of the states. So even with that being said, it's still a way that we could be unified and certain rules should be adhered to, especially something as that people are dying from that, man. That's true.
Yes. Speaking of dying, I can't help but ask you. I see Pastor Dave on you. Pastor of the church.
Yes, I had a church for 11 years. I've been senior pastor. Yeah. Right now I just went to a smaller congregation. I went from being Christian to Hebrew. But still teaching the Bible, still the same principles, just a different perspective on it. But yeah, that's still my lifestyle.
Why Christian and Hebrew?
I don't want to offend anybody.
No, you're not offending nobody, man.
Okay. All right.
No, because I actually had Steve Cunningham on Saturday, and
that's my man. That's my man. He fully understands. He was the one we were on set at Creed, the movie Creed, years back, and Steve was trying to explain to me what was going on, and he was talking to me and Dale, and I told Dale, I said, Steve done went crazy. Don't let's stand with that mess. And then 2 years later, here I am coming right back to what he said. But just having an understanding of who the true Hebrews are. The African Americans that are primarily here in the United States and in other parts of the world are from the Bible. We are the biblical people that the Bible talks about. And, all of that, you could say, what difference does it make, your color? But if the Bible was telling us what to do as African Americans, then we have to follow what it does. In Christianity, so many things, you just do whatever you want. You just say some words, and if you say you believe it, that's it. But that's really not what the Bible teaches. So for us, it was a true understanding who the true people of Israel are, and then understanding then what are we supposed to do. For example, the Bible tells us that we're supposed to worship on the seventh day, which is the Sabbath, the Shabbat, Saturday. But I preached on Sunday all my life. So why is that? Certain foods that we eat, we allowed to eat, but the Bible says don't eat it. So it was so many things that we were taught, and I have a doctorate degree in theology, so I learned at the highest level. So many different systems that we were taught that really are not what the Bible actually says. It's more a system that we created.
And
I didn't mean to go that deep, though.
No, it's fine. I 100% get it.
Okay.
Are you Hebrew too, Dylan, or are you are?
Yeah, I'm 100% Hebrew. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You go hit some bumps in the road, man. I got your back. You go hit some bumps in the road. In terms of
why you say that? Why you say that?
They're gonna try and push you. Listen. I used the example of most recent Devin Haney.
Yeah.
They made him apologize for saying something that I think that every fighter needs to say. Not only am I better than white fighters, I'm better than Mexican fighters, I'm better than black fighters. You understand what I'm saying? And I wish he hadn't apologized. I have a great relationship with the Haneys, and we'll disagree on it and love each other later.
Yeah.
But I think we got to hold our ground.
Well, he actually taught me on that. And we were having discussions, and I, pretty much said what you just said. Make sure that you tell them. Yeah, I said it about white people, but I'm talking about Mexicans, blacks, and it wasn't just he asked me about a white person, but it wouldn't matter who he asked. I'm gonna beat everybody. So I think it was more explanation than an apology, because he said it was for everybody, not just against white people. That's we shouldn't have any place for that in the sport, black or white.
Yeah, Dylan, because Devin has ascended. Or potentially ascending to a place where he's gonna dethrone the white hope. You understand what I'm saying? And because this is my opinion, this ain't your opinion, this is my opinion, this is barbershop conversation's opinion.
Yes,
and when you're ascending like that, they want to knock you off and discredit you because you have the talents and the favor of the people to dethrone him and be more popular. The same thing they're doing to Deontay Wilder, with Tyson Fury. The same way I believe that they're they're doing with Lomachenko. You see 3 weeks before. 3 weeks before, I mean, he was undefeated. He was 15-0 when everybody clearly know he lost to Salido. You know what I'm saying? So it's so I think like it's a propaganda scheme, and more importantly, they want to emasculate him. You know, I think like the bigger picture of it. And speaking of that, did you guys get a chance to see what happened to Mr. Aubrey down in Georgia?
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Ahmad, yeah,
That's crazy.
Ahmad, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
go ahead,
and that just goes to show you it's beyond boxing. That's in life. That we have to watch what we say. We have to be mindful of our surroundings. Because you said one of the things that I say is 3 things that they try to do to African Americans. First, they're going to try to dismiss us. If they can't do that, they're going to try to discredit us. And that's what they're trying to do with Devin, as you just said, try to discredit him by his comments. And then if they can't, they'll try to destroy you. They'll put you in over the head. They'll do things to try to just take you away from everything you're trying to do. So it's not just in boxing, that's in life. We have conversations with our children that other races don't have to have with their children. How to conduct themselves with the police, what to wear. You know, we went to Indiana. I was taking my son to the Silver Gloves, and Devin and the other kid that was with us went into a store with a hoodie, and one was walking around and the other was over here. I told him, Tom, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Now, other races can do that, but you can't look like you distracting and you over here with a hoodie. You know, this Indian guy pull out a gun and he's justified. So we had to have different conversations with ours that no other race have anyway. So that's just life.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because we talked about that on my podcast maybe last night or 2 nights ago about it's sad. It's almost an excruciating conversation that at some point, my son is 5 years old, that I'm gonna have to have a conversation with him, because he's going to be an independent driver. Yes. You know, he's going to be probably picking up Kennedy from school. That's the word, you know, and it's sobering. He's a 100% optimist right now. And it's beautiful to see when he just believes everything should be working in his favor. Savior. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's very sobering, you know, to have these thoughts as a parent.
Right. Well, I'm glad this is the most I guess true conversation we've had with a reporter. I'm realizing I don't have to, not on this one.
No, man, we in the barbershop, man. We in the barbershop. The man with the DVDs in like 2 minutes and see if we got 2 for 5. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean,
man.
Understand that a black man can't go running anymore without being killed, and then they're trying to, you know, let the former police officers go and get them off and things. And this is with videotapes. It just shows our worth to society. So we have to have these conversations. This is nothing new for us. We waking up with we as a people are waking up. But that's why I became Hebrew, because understanding who I am affects what I do, and then that's going to in turn affect how I'm treated in this world. We're gonna move from the tail to the head when we start coming back to what our Heavenly Father said do versus what our slave masters taught us that we were supposed to do. Now you really got it hard for Dylan. I done really spilt my true feelings. He ain't get nothing.
No, they would have known anyway. You know, many of those.
But let me say this: there are a lot of different groups, and there are a lot of different hate groups, and there are a lot of Hebrew Israelites. Steve Cunningham does not belong to that group, and we do not belong to that group. We love all people of all colors. Doesn't matter who you are. We judge you as individuals. We don't believe that only black people are going to ascend to paradise or heaven or things like that. Anybody who follows the Heavenly Father Yahuwah, they will get their path. So I want to clarify that there are a lot of hate groups, and we're not one of them. Not at all.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, always admire a man who can stand on his truth. You know what I mean? Like it's admirable, and it just bothers me that you're like in this society, you're like rap and gives you validation by how much money you have or if you won and lost a fight. You know what I mean? Like, I think credibility and integrity exceeds far beyond that. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's just the world we live in.
Yep.
You know.
Fortunately.
And yeah, we got to keep on fighting to this day.
and hopefully we get more people like yourself, that your platform continues to grow, the Dylans continue to grow, the Steve, people that are positive, Devin Haney, people that have positive messages, that will get a greater voice, because once you get to a certain level, they're going to discredit you. And then if you get beyond that, just like we did with all of our great leaders in the past, they're going to try to destroy you, whatever they can. So we just have to be prepared for that.
Yeah, speaking of great leaders, Malcolm X's birthday is May 19th, you know, and he's definitely one of my heroes, man.
Absolutely.
And,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Did you see that documentary they just did on who?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was real good, wasn't it?
Oh man, like I was shadow boxing episodes 5 and 6, man. I was like, damn, man. You know,
we found out it was somebody in Jersey, you know, right down the street from me. I said, "Oh,
right there."
But it was a different time then.
Yeah, it was it had so many questions for me, just based off of the integrity of the man. You know, like I was talking to Muhammad Ali's wife. I interviewed her for like 3 hours.
Oh wow!
Last Wednesday, and she actually grew up in Elijah Muhammad's house, and she was explaining to me the dynamics between Elijah Muhammad's relationship and Malcolm X's relationship, because she actually opened up the door for him when Malcolm X, when he walked into Elijah Muhammad's home, and he was explaining the dynamics of it. And
so was it portrayed on the various shows and documentaries?
Yeah. She was actually in the documentary for a split second, like a soundbite or two, nothing elaborate, you know. And she believes they got him killed, you know, the government, and got Malcolm X killed via, obviously, people that look like us, you know. But it's always in my quiet moments, I always envision America with the Malcolm X in it, you know. And it's sobering. It's sobering sometimes, and some days I'm inspired by it, and most days it's pretty sobering for me, you know, because I grew up in Harlem. So
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know.
Yeah, so you get a college level education in Harlem about Marcus Garvey, just living. You ain't got to open up a book sometimes, you know, just walking down 7th Ave and you know, 8th Ave, which is now Malcolm X Boulevard. You know, you just, you know, but it's we gonna get there though. We gonna get there.
Yeah.
No, I inherently believe it. You know what I mean? That we'll get there together. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of this, did you hear did you hear Paulie's comments, by the way? About
I seen Mr. Steve talking about it, but
yeah, he said
I didn't look at it or anything like that.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't ask you.
All of the controversial events. I just go on Steve's page.
Well, I'm not gonna ask you to comment up because you don't know the history. You would have to see it in the full context.
Okay. But the way Steve portrayed it, it wasn't in a very flattering light.
No, he said racial oppression is made up in 2020.
And the only thing you could say is from a perspective of anybody other than an African American, you know, you have a different perspective than we do. You could drive down the street with your hoodie on, with your glasses on, and late at night you could go running with those type of apparel. You know, those are things that we can't do. So, you know, I just look at that as ignorance. I wouldn't even. I mean, other people want to take it up as a cause, and that's cool. But you know, it's just ignorance. I'm gonna just keep teaching truth and not concentrate so much on the ignorance. I mean, I've met Paulie, and I never got this sense of a, you know, quote unquote racist. That was a foolish and ignorant remark. But that's what I think it is. It's not happening to you or your children, so you figure we live in a different world.
No, you about to take me down this rabbit hole, man.
Go ahead.
Because it involves Floyd. I don't want to go there, man. I don't want to go there.
I gave you some tidbits of Floyd. Go ahead and drop.
No, because I mean I don't mind. Like I'm like, you know, if you disrespect the culture, I'm like fuck you. You know, what I mean I can give two shits about Floyd and as it relates, but I'm just saying like Malcolm X said, the chickens come home to roost. You know, he was very defiant as it relates to culture. He took himself out of our bubble and put himself on an island and said, this is my life. If you want to contact me, you have to go through these 5 people, and it's my choice if I want to respond. And then I want you to know my life is bigger, better than yours. You know what I mean? And
can you hear us?
Yeah, I hear you very well. And yeah, say something.
The audio.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Can you hear us, Fred?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
We can't even hear. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Fred.
Chime back in. Go out and come back.
I was enjoying this interview.
Go out and come back in. Go out and beam back in.
Hang up, call back.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Just beam back in. So while they're doing that, we'll have them beam back in, and then we'll go from there. But it's just well, we're gonna talk about it. I'm not gonna so we can get the responses together. But I appreciate you guys. If you guys made it this far, 56 minutes in, I just want to say thank you. And all right, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, good. No, what I was saying was, okay, here's when I got when I realized Floyd was like different. I'm gonna use the term different. Okay. I've been around Floyd for about 10 years now, passively, intimately, whatever the case may be. At some point we called each other's friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And or whatever you want to call it. And so two black guys that I know said, hey, and they had their camera rolling. He didn't know the camera was rolling. He says, hey Floyd, what's up? He said, what the fuck you doing? You look like 2 black men. He says, and I didn't put the video up because I didn't want Floyd to look like that. I didn't want him to look bad like that. And I said, no, they said it was 2 guys. It was at the Ritz-Carlton. It was for the Robert Easter Mikey Garcia fight 2 Julys ago. And he said, what the fuck you doing in here? You look like you don't make enough money to be in here. Get the fuck away. And he told his security to shun him off. I have the video. I literally have the video. And I says, I can't believe he said this to this man. And then I watched him talk, and I watched him say things. I watched him, and I said, I can't be a part of that. You know what I mean? I don't want my
the thing with Gucci too, Fred.
Yeah. Oh, the thing with Gucci just drove me insane because it's not the fact that you wear Gucci. I mean, I don't expect if you spend $50,000 on Gucci prior to this to throw your Gucci stuff away. I don't expect that. What I do expect is just step out the way.
Right.
You know, just be quiet and let other people work. You know, like I'm not perfect neither, but you see the pit bull in me. You don't want me to not go where you pray I get to.
Right.
You know, maybe you whisper in my ear, but he said, I'm not a follower, I'm a leader. And I'm like, no. Nah. So with the Gucci stuff and then him acting like Donald Trump is his best friend and protecting Donald Sterling and what's the right singer when he was like nigga. Justin Bieber. He's my friend. I'm like, oh, so I said, you know what? I can't be a part of that shit. You know what I mean? And like I said, it has come home to roost. You know, as it pertains to his daughter. You know, he put himself on an island in a bubble, and when it's good, it's beautiful. But you're still in a system of oppression.
Right.
And when you're in a system of oppression, the hate for you is festering. See, he monetized the hate in the boxing ring.
Right.
But outside the boxing ring, they want to kill you and destroy you. And I don't think he understood that in its totality. It's not going to be him. It's going to be his daughter. It's going to be his son. It's going to be Leonard Ellaby. It's going to be what's the promoter name? I mean the manager you had?
Dewan Blake.
Dewan Blake. It's going to be Dewan. It's not going to be Floyd. They're just going to chip him away. He breaks, you know.
Yep.
And I just said, you know what? I'm going to distance myself from this man having a lack of character. You know what I mean? Like I want there to be like, a wall there between he and I. Like I choose not to be around. Man, I could have been silent and be like, "Hey, Floyd, what's up?" But that's not my swag. I unlocked my own door to my house. You know? Say it again.
I said I love a man who stands on his principles. If this
is
what you believe in, you know, I don't care who you are. I can't mess with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
And that's kind of where I was. So man. Yeah. So I choose not to be around him or nothing like that. And you know, I don't even care to interview him or talk to him ever again in life. No, I'm serious because and this is me just personally. Like I don't listen. I'm a man. I'm just gonna keep it. I'm a man. A man will never ever shun his eye from a beautiful woman with a fat ass. I understand the whole semantics of that shit, right? But I don't think that's just life. I think when you have a platform as big as he is, you have to have a level of balance that inspires.
Right.
You know, like his platform is used to separate himself. And this is just my opinion. Like to say I'm bigger, richer, stronger, make more money than you. Ha, 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 ha. It's not like, hey, let me teach you how to do this. Let me show you how to do it. And I don't like that shit. I don't, you know, I don't respect it. I don't like it. And that's what I believe.
Right. So. And that's unfortunate that it's probably so many of us that move that way because we didn't have that leadership with a father figure to kind of move us through situations like that. I'm glad that my son has it. But if I wasn't there, you know, his neck would be full of gold, I'm sure, from his paycheck, and you know, he had a car without the house, and you know, all of those things. So unfortunately, that's how most of us were raised. And then him having his father, you know, Mr. Ford's a great guy, but you see what he gave him. You know, he was a dope boy that went to jail. You know what I mean? So when you look at Floyd, So when you look at Floyd, you know, he got it. Nobody really buckled down and teach him what to do with it. I mean, a guy like Al Heyman, if you can't learn from somebody, be around somebody like that, learn.
Dog,
I pull that back a little bit because he was around Al for 10 years. He should have learned some things, but
man,
I mean, as a straight mentor, he didn't have that. That's why you see him sometimes act like a fool, if you want to say that, because you're doing foolish things because you have so much money, what you said I always wanted, and nobody's teaching you what to do or how to do with it.
Big facts, man. I say that about Al Heyman. I've like, if you don't take the time to like invest in Al Heyman's mind, I mean, it's something wrong with you. You know what I mean? I think that it's imperative that you do so if you have access to him. You know, but you know,
that's what I challenged. Excuse me. That's what I challenged Dewan with. I said, you know, I wanted you to run the career because you've been around Floyd Mayweather, you've been around Al Heyman, you've been around, you know, some great men in the sports. Jake
Watson, Leonard Ellaby, you know what I mean?
Ellaby, you know what I mean? You should know more than what you know. You know what I mean? Don't pretend you know and go with it. And we would have those conversations where I would drop some knowledge on him. Sometimes, you know, he'd get defensive. We go back and forth with it, but he wanted to learn. So, you know, I think if Floyd had somebody like that he could really, well, he did. He had Al. So, you know, some people just foolish. We can't make excuses for everybody.
Man, I think Al is like, you know, I mean, just in terms, see, his goal is to get y'all the money to empower y'all. You understand? People want him to talk. People want him. He's 100% invested in his role. Like, okay, I'm going to be the Robin Hood. I'm going to give you this bag, and I need you to make sure that you buy your house, buy your car, create generational wealth, and pass this on to the next fighter. You know, it's just my take on him. Is he perfect?
Right.
Nah. Am I perfect? Hell nah. You know, but I just think, yeah, you know, I just think that you know,
Did you see the Black Godfather?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I definitely saw that. Yeah,
and we see that that's the model that Al Heyman came from.
Big fact. That was his mentor. It seemed like
that was his mentor.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that's the way that I do business. And everybody couldn't understand this. It's people that were turning, looking to turn from amateur that didn't make the team, and they would ask me advice, and I said, well, bring me the contract. You know, let me look at it. I can show you what to do, tell you what to do. But they couldn't get past their mind that I wasn't somehow trying to get a percentage or trying to get, and it's a couple of people, Darmani Rock. I don't know if you know him, heavyweight. He was a standout amateur. He's about 17-0, but I worked closely with his father, and I don't get a dime. But just assisting him with the contract. He's with Rock Nation, so showing him, you know, you made some mistakes early on, but this is how you could work this through. Help that. That movie, I mean, that documentary, he's just on a higher level of what I try to do every day. If it's not going to cost me nothing, I'll give it to you. You know what I mean? What if I'm on the phone telling you something for 15 to 20 minutes, you know, I could give you that, and an attorney is going to charge you, you know, $400 or $500 for that. Somehow God to bring that back to me. So that was a very inspiring movie, and we know that Al Heyman, as his mentor, was him being Al Heyman's mentor, that's the way that I'm sure he is as well. So
it was very obvious.
People start moving like that, man. Come on.
Yeah, man. Look how many people he put on, Clarence Avant, man. And you know the funny thing is, I've been in close quarters with him and didn't know it was him. It's funny as shit. Yeah, I didn't know it was him. I was like, oh, and then when I watched the documentary, I said, oh my God, that's Clarence Avant. yeah, man. You know what I mean? I can say the same thing about Al Heyman, but I knew who Al Heyman was. I've been in the same places I had, but I knew who he was. But you know, it's fascinating.
See, some of us could say, man, I knew Al Heyman when he used to go to fights.
Yeah.
He used to go to his own fights.
Yeah, he used to. He's sitting third or fourth row. Yeah, you know what I mean? But not anymore. You know what I mean? He's smart, man. He's smart because he knows that they're gonna build you up to tear you down.
That's it.
You know what I mean? And that's the stone cold truth, man. Yeah, we're excited about. Yeah, but we definitely excited about your future. And you know, you always can come back here. You know what I mean? You always, please. Say it again.
I said the barbershop is real talk.
Oh man, yeah, and that's why a lot of people don't like me because, but they don't like me from a perspective of truth. They don't like me from a standpoint of like, I want to fuck him up, I want to fight him, but like, I wish this nigga would shut up. You know what I mean? But it's too late. I done built it now. It's too late now. You know what I mean?
They can't shut you down.
No, I was a spook by the door for a few years. You know what I mean? But now I'm full blown. You know what I mean? So yeah,
that's what we're doing. We stay busy, keep Dill busy, keep promoting them. Guys like yourself giving us platforms. Thank you.
Anytime. I mean, sincerely.
You know, we kick in that door, and then we're gonna open the door for others. You see how in our interviews, I'm not name dropping because I'm trying to be associated with people. I'm name dropping because I want to put somebody else on that may not have that platform. So we get to that spot, we're gonna open the doors too. We're gonna open side doors, back doors. We letting everybody in.
Facts. Big facts, man.
With that being said, we got a lot of it's not just myself, we got a lot of people on the rise. My little brother, Devin Price. I got a close friend of mine that I known for the longest. We came up in the amateurs together, Mark Dawson. You know what I'm saying? Guys that's in the radar, Rasheem Jefferson. These are all great. Darmani Rock, these are great fighters. Yeah, great fighters, but just didn't get the platform yet. So they will though soon. They definitely will get it. But like my dad said,
let me tell you something. He's not a friend. But I'm gonna tell you because he is. I was telling Dale, out of all the work, all the sparring partners, we sparred Rasheem. What's the Olympian? Rasheed Warren. He's the fastest. But we got some that's the smartest. But the hardest hitting boy that we spar, we want to give him props too. Duke Micah. He's out of Brooklyn, New York. Andre Rozier trains him.
Andre Rozier. I like Andre Rozier.
He got a kid. He's not known yet. He's about 21-0, maybe 18 or 19 knockouts. But want to give a shout out to him because he's not a guy that's known, but he gives us the best.
Need to be 21-0 with 18 knockouts. Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we right back at it, man.
Can you hear me? You got to go out and come back in. Okay. Just go out and come back in. Yeah. Go out and come back in. Yeah, man. Yeah, the Wi-Fi be tripping, man, when you're doing these interstate calls. But yeah, man, I appreciate everybody coming in, man. We winding down this interview. Don't forget, we go live every night Pacific Standard Time. And don't forget to follow Dylan the Real Deal Price on Instagram and all his social media. It's 10-0 with 7 knockouts. And obviously he has a great father rearing them in the right direction. And yeah, so we're basically just closing shop.
Yes, sir. Well, yeah. I was just saying he's real good talent. There's a lot of guys that's coming up that you're gonna be hearing from. But we appreciate this opportunity
all the time, dog. Appreciate y'all.
And no matter how big we get, well, you always gonna be a little bit bigger than us anyway.
I'm 5'7". I'm never gonna be that big.
That's always a good thing.
Oh man, I just keep the tools sharp. You know what I mean? So I can get in and out of trouble. You know what I mean? I appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir, and I enjoyed our conversation when you came to Philly.
I appreciate you.
Real good.
Yeah, I had to interview you like I didn't know the information. That's why you was like, Fred. I know you was looking like Fred. I know you know what the fuck you talk about. Okay. all right. Because I wanted the broader audience to see it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I appreciate y'all.
Take care. Have a good
one.
I
appreciate y'all. Thanks, dog. Appreciate y'all. Yeah. So there you have it, man. The Price family, man. Man, just wait. Just wait, man. Have hope. Dream. I know we under a lot of pressure. Today's date is May 7th, 2020. And between what happened in Georgia and what happened in Indiana last night and how we feel about boxing, we feel fatigued today. But there is hope. You know what I mean? There is a sense of pride in us. So anyways, man, Barbershop, man, shout out to Steve Cunningham, man. Appreciate you. Shout out to the Price family. And shout out to Steve Brett, man. Shout out to JROC, man. I'm looking forward. Maybe I'll interview JROC sometime. Maybe I'll do that. I like listening to JROC talk sometimes, man. He be dropping. Yep. No, you good. Barbershop Conversations, man. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. And don't forget, we go live 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time every night during quarantine. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.